and Tessa Albea are Kumu content creators, entrepreneurs, hosts, and empowered siblings. Their willingness to give back, eagerness to do good, and ability to persevere are just some of the many factors that make them the leaders that they are today.
Hello, guys, and welcome to another episode of In Love with Me, where we feature inspiring individuals who will share their amazing stories. I am your host, Mafae Velasco, and for this series, our topic is Leaders of Today. We all know the world is filled with leaders and game changers of all ages and backgrounds. This season, we aim to highlight people who make a positive impact in the world around them through their actions and words. For today's guest, we have two inspiring individuals who continuously change the game in every way possible. We have Leo, co-founder and creative director of One Down Media, and also Kumu content creator. Of course, joining him is his beautiful sister, Tessa, Kumu content creator and a game show host. Together, they aim to lead others to become their best selves by serving as an example in their respective fields. And that is why they both make the leader that they are today. So let's welcome Leo and Tessa Albea. Hi, guys.
Hello. Hi, everyone.
Hello. Thank you for joining me. As I mentioned offline, I have been admiring both of you from a distance. And actually, I'm a bit starstruck because I know content creation is the people or the empowered individuals behind the scenes that create the flow of the show, make the magic happen. And I do want to share you with the community here. Of course, we're also live on Kumu. So hello, everyone. Meet these amazing individuals here. Please share with everyone. I know I mentioned a little bit of your background already. How did you become the leaders that you are today? Maybe we can start with ladies first. Tessa?
Yes. Okay. So, hi, I'm Tessa. Again, thank you so much for having us. It's crazy because I kind of feel like I'm a nurse, but I actually got into this whole content creating and media field thing, thanks to my brother. And it's weird because even though he is my little brother, he really is my role model in a way that he always, he always told me, be yourself, go for what you believe and go for your dreams. And I'm a talker. I love to do this. I never thought that I would ever do something out of that, I would talk to patients, and I also would teach confirmation, or I taught at a high school, and I always would talk, but never thought that this could be something where I'd be in front of a camera. And it was funny because since he always was directing and doing music videos, I was always behind the camera. And then recently, obviously, I'm starting to get in front of it. And, it's just an amazing feeling because he empowers me and motivates me to be myself and just to allow myself to discover myself. So I'm happy that I'm on this journey still discovering myself. So, yeah.
Amazing. Well, thank you for all you've done. I did not know that you're a frontliner. So truly appreciate what you're doing because now I get it. Your vibe and everything that I have witnessed. I was like, wow. I love this family. So Leo, my apologies. How about you?
Yeah. So how I got into this, I think I always like to attribute it to people who came before me that trusted me and supported me even when I didn't have the proof that this can exist. I think so many times I describe it as like growing up, I didn't have many role models who were in entertainment, who were in media, who looked like me. And that really was a challenge. And I think it made it hard for me to visualize myself in these roles, in these positions. And I really, there's been so many people in my life that serendipitously I met, and they were like, you can do this. You have talent. You are able to, be these things. And I think it took a while for me to kind of convince my parents that this is a sustainable thing, and then also kind of convince myself. And I think oftentimes we have this imposter syndrome, and I think it's something that I still kind of, grapple with, how can I exist in media and entertainment, and how can I thrive in this industry? And for me, in the same aspects that so many people who came before me kind of trusted and mentored and led me into these positions and gave me these opportunities, very much so in the same way Kumu gave me these opportunities with like Roland and Rexy and Angelo. It's kind of what she described, like, if I get to eat, we all eat. Like if I get to eat, my whole village eats, my whole family eats. That's why you see like my family, they're always involved in all of the shoots that we do. Whenever I can bring people this new opportunity, people that I'm mentoring, some of my friends, or like people who align with the overall vision. And that overall vision is like, let's get Filipino, our culture, our community, our people visible in media and entertainment. And how do we do that? And it really has to be this collective effort. So I think that's really, I don't attribute it all to myself. I attribute it to my hardworking parents, to all the giants who came before us, and just the community that we have.
I agree with you. It definitely is the hard work. Obviously, there was a purpose for us to be born and also witness what our parents went through. And I was just having a conversation earlier in another interview that I too grew up in Australia, and I was able to see my parents grind and hustle and pray the rosary every night. We actually lived in a laundry room when we first got to Australia. So I saw how the struggle that they went through when our own culture thought that living outside of the Philippines, we're instantly rich. No, we have to work hard for this. But thank you for being the voice of the respect, of giving respect to our elders who are working hard to make sure that we're okay. And especially, I'm a big fan of One Down Media. Please also share, what was the biggest challenge of starting your business? And I can see you guys are young leaders, so it's very inspirational to a lot of the youth right now, because it is the modern age of the digital world.
Yeah. So going off that, like it being the modern age of the digital world, I remember in 2018, that's when we established One Down. I had just graduated college, and I was trying to navigate this new world. And I was looking for, where does the Filipino community exist online? We live in this digital world, and we're always approached and inundated with so much content and so many things, and you're just trying to find, like, where are my people? Where is my culture? Where is my community? And so as a Filipino American, we didn't have that outside of just TFC, ABS-CBN. There was not this large central source where you can understand and have a shared community with what it means to be Filipino American. So, and we were looking at these different ethnic media companies. So the Black community, they can look at places like Cocoa Butter, or Blavity. Like, those are large media organizations that are catering Black millennials. And then the Latino community, they have Me Too, they have Pero Like. And so all these other ethnic communities had a space online, but then Filipino Americans, or just the global Filipino diaspora, didn't have that. And so that's where the idea for One Down kind of came into fruition. The biggest challenge was that we didn't have this, list of things that we have to do in order to succeed, and we didn't have money, we didn't have resources, we didn't have famous people. We literally started with, 0 likes on Facebook, and then we had to ask ourselves, how do we grow from here? How do we create an audience? And I think one of the biggest things that helped us is, let's talk about things that we never get to talk about, but everyone knows is important. So, in our Filipino culture, not everything is positive. Not everything is beautiful. And there are some ugly parts about being Filipino. And oftentimes we don't have to shy away from that. We don't have to ignore it. It's almost this empowering feeling when we get to talk about things that are real and sometimes ugly in our culture in order to find this silver lining. And so, you know, that was one of our first partnerships with Kumu was the web series Breaking the Tabo. And Breaking the Tabo was all about talking about controversial and taboo topics in the Filipino community, where we get to talk about body shaming, where we get to talk about representation, where we get to talk about Filipino food. And if you look online and the millions of views that it got, people were so receptive and they were saying, I feel seen.
Yes.
I've been waiting for this content. Thank you so much. And so that's where we found that niche. You know, where do we find content that people care about, but we don't often get to talk about?
True. And of course, Tessa, you are the one in front of the camera, also translating the magic that your brother is visualizing. So how do you feel being that ambassador of freedom of speech in a way as a Filipina?
You know, it was really empowering, and actually it was crazy because I didn't have like here they have at the colleges PCN or Filipino groups or those types of things. So I always struggled knowing my Filipino identity and hearing these topics and everything. Yes, I knew it, but I always questioned, how Filipino am I? Because like konti lang Tagalog, does that make me less Filipino? You know, I really struggled with that. But you know, thanks to One Down and being able to talk about it, you know, I loved hearing, you know what, me too. I always was like, oh, am I Filipino enough to join in on these conversations? Am I even Filipino enough to talk about them? And that's the beauty of this. And this is why he started. That's why I say he's such an inspiration, because he makes us feel comfortable and want it, you know, regardless of how Filipino am I, I'm going to use my voice. I'm going to do what I can. I'm going to speak how I feel. And that's such an empowering feeling. And like I said, I still feel like I'm on that journey, discovering myself as well as my Filipino identity. And I'm just excited to see, you know, how this goes and everything.
No, I really agree with you both. You know, you're connecting it. You're building that bridge, because I know my own cousins who also grew up here feel sometimes there's like a wall. So it really is up to us. For me, I am grateful that my parents spoke to us in Tagalog when we lived in Australia. So it was easy for me to get that accent back, because as an Aussie, of course I'm going to get teased. You know, I'm going to speak Tagalog and they're going to be like, what are you saying? But at the end of the day, it's like, hey, we all speak English too. I don't tease you when you speak English. So come on, let's learn together, right? And that's what you guys are both doing. And, you know, content creation is changing every day. I mean, for both of you, how do you keep up with such drastic changes? And what would be your advice to other content creators who are having a hard time keeping up?
Oh man. So my previous role on my career journey, I was a producer. I was a senior producer for a company called Blossom. So Blossom is actually the most viral page. Oh, there you go. So Blossom is actually the most viral page on Facebook. And so one of the realities that we have to grapple with, and that all content creators actually have to grapple with, is that the algorithm is always going to constantly change. And that is the reality. So as content creators, one day something works, the other day it doesn't. And then you have to understand how to get back up. So I was actually part of that transformation in Blossom in 2019, when the algorithm had completely switched and all of our videos were not doing as well anymore. And then it was my video in February of 2019. I did a video on natural remedies because the brand is on our target audience was millennial women. And so I did a video on natural remedies, you know, how to cure certain beauty problems or, you know, sicknesses or whatever through natural remedies. And then it went viral. And then my next video went viral. And then my next one, and it was 4 times in a row. And so I had cracked the code on how it is to be viral. And so one of the things that I'm always constantly telling content creators is, one, you need to be tracking your metrics. And it's, you have to treat content creation almost as a science. I always try to instruct people that, you know, social media, it is the art of science and storytelling. So understanding what is working for you today, and then seeing how those tiny shifts, you know, whether that is the content that you're doing, or the way you're editing your videos, or the way you're presenting, all those tiny changes are a factor in how the algorithm pushes your content creation. So that is one thing, really tracking your metrics and understanding your numbers. And, you know, on Facebook, on YouTube, if you're a creator, you have access to all of your numbers. And then the second thing is stay up to date with your trends, like really be a consumer. On my Facebook, I know everything about Philippine entertainment, Filipino media, whatever is going on in the US, in the globe, in the Philippines. And I work across Summit Media, so I'm also the creative director for Preview, Pep, and Yummy. So I have to stay up to date with what is happening in every single one of these verticals. So I'm very much so a consumer. And so that's my second encouragement for those of you who want to really stay up to date and stay relevant and really kind of conquer the algorithm. You really need to know what is happening today.
I agree with you. You know, it's also a form of conversation. I'm in the pageant world, and as you can see, Bini Bini Pilipinas just happened, and the questions are getting very technical, and it's a matter of how you share or communicate because it's live. And speaking of live, you know, you're both Kumu content creators, and also Leo, are you also live streaming daily like your sister? But I haven't noticed. But if you are, what would be your advice to live streamers? Because this is not, you know, you can't edit this. This is definitely like, okay, you just have to have planned it, or you just know the game, you just know how to engage with others. What would be your advice on that? I mean, Tessa, of course, you're an amazing host, a game show host, that is. I mean, I don't know how you energize yourself, because I feel as though I learned actually yesterday that someone told me, and I always feel it when I'm doing a talk or having a seminar, I'm drained after. And they told me that, do you know that you actually do not breathe while you're talking? Or you forget to breathe, or something like that, something technical. Right? I mean, yeah, Tessa, maybe we can start with you.
Yeah, I mean, definitely for me, everyone, when they enter my streams or anything, they're like, oh my gosh, the energy. And I don't know, this has always been me. I mean, I'm so loud, and it's funny because growing up, I was always told to be quiet. And I didn't have, I didn't have many friends because they'd be like, you know, that's not loud, brown girl over there. That's always how I was, and I couldn't control it. And I'm just so blessed to find a platform where everyone accepts me for who I can be loud, and, you know, either you like me or you don't, but the thing is, at the end of the day, I'm going to keep being me because I just, you know, I'm embracing it. I'm discovering myself, and I'm just having fun. So definitely when live streaming, I don't know, it was funny because I was always so nervous when I first went live, and now it's so natural. And thanks to Luigi, who's always helping me, you know, with the pointers and more of the articulate things, figuring out. And I'm just, you know, it's just all a learning process. And so.
True. Leo, what can you advise live streamers and how to, you know, make their show always engaging?
I think so. For me, I wouldn't even consider myself a live streamer. I do have a show, obviously a weekly show on Kumu called DIY Director, but I wouldn't necessarily call myself a live streamer. And I actually get so many tips from my sister. I'm always asking her, like, okay, how can I be better? How can I be this?
Wait,
you know?
He asked how to boodle. I had to.
You can join my live stream and you can boodle there. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, so I mean, I feel like I guess the first thing is like she's extroverted, I'm introverted. So I'm not naturally the type of person to be out there. I don't necessarily gain energy from being in a live stream. I kind of like, you know, I'll do a live stream, and then my energy for the rest of the day is like kind of checked out. I'm like, oh my God, that was so draining for me, because it's not natural for me. So for any of those who are listening right now, like I feel like I took on this show, DIY Director, and I really tried to live stream because of the role that I took on for Kumu as director of content. I needed to understand, what is it like to be a live streamer? What are the challenges? What are kind of the conquering feelings? Like what empowers you to be a live streamer? And I needed to put myself into that space. And I think it's been extremely nerve-wracking, extremely scary, but it also has kind of brought out this new part of myself. And I'm like, okay, well, I don't need to prepare so much. Like sometimes, life gets so busy. Sometimes you just need to be yourself, and that's enough. And I think that's one of the more beautiful things that I've learned being on Kumu is like just chilling. Just I just got a text yesterday, someone saying like, "Hey, your live stream really inspired me." Like I wrote it out in my journal. I really reflected on it, and I was like, "Oh my goodness!" Like I couldn't have measured the impact that some of these topics have, and like it's it's immeasurable how much of impact we can have. And I think that's the amazing part of Hulu, like that we have this platform and we're able to be out there. And I think that for me, that's the number one advice for live streamers. It's like, just try it, like put yourself out there, because you don't know who can relate, who is listening, who is watching. And every single one of our unique identities really can speak to someone.
Yes. And I know your mission and vision is always to be transparent on what you learn. You're paying it forward and things like that. And to be honest, I was also inspired on the workshop that you did for the Kumu team. And that's the reason why, Tessa, I need you and Leo on my show so I can ask my questions and learn more. So speaking of that, I know in this generation, it's all about the likes. It's all about the numbers. It's all about who sees me and who doesn't see me. And one thing that struck me that I love what you shared is that One Down had organically built your community. So that's what I would like for you to share to everyone right now, how important it is to just be yourself. Please share on how you were able to achieve that.
Yeah, I mean, I think in that workshop that Mafae is referencing, what I was kind of saying is, on Instagram, people think that it's all about how it looks, how your design looks. If you're talking about like self-image, it's like, how good do I look? How nice is my hair? Does my skin texture look good? And I think it's so easy as a human being to think that is what matters, that is what drives people. That your thinking is, oh, someone's not going to like this because I don't look, like I look a little bit chubby or whatever. Like that's always the perception. And so what I try to teach, at least with One Down, is it doesn't matter how it looks, how it's presented, whatever. It's like, how well can it connect to your viewer? What is the story about those? And so the really like, for one whole year, I'm not a designer, but I was kind of designing the graphic posts for One Down, but I wasn't spending all this time on calligraphy, on amazing images. It literally was a yellow background and text and words, and that was it. But the question was, how strong can your words move you? And like words about real things like hoarding, and how sensitive that can be as a topic. We're talking about, like badass Filipino women and talking about women empowerment, and how often do we get to talk about these amazing people? We're talking about Filipino stories that are landing on Netflix, and we don't need these like gaudy, crazy designs. We just need that story. We just need that thing that connects. So I think that's like what really drives organic interaction, is the same thing that drives things in Kumu. You just want something that is authentic, that speaks to the viewer, that is real, and the rest will follow.
Yes, and I love the confidence that you both exude, and that's the reason why you are leaders of today. And speaking of being a leader, what does leadership mean to both of you? Maybe Tessa, you can share.
Leadership. Wow. When I think of leader, I mean, definitely to me, like I look up to my brother, even though he's my little brother. It's so amazing how much he's accomplished. And to me, leadership is, you find your tribe, you find your support. For me, it's the community I've met on Kumu, but as well as my family, and just, how can I be better? Because of course there's always room for improvement. Nobody's perfect. We're going to mess up. And how can I learn from my mistakes? And a big thing for me is being open to criticism and my mistakes, because I'm constantly making mistakes. And how can I learn from my mistakes and not, hold a grudge or be upset about it or dwell on it too much is definitely one of those struggles. And as long as I keep that mentality, I think that I need to keep picking myself, keep on going, keep trying to be the best version of Tessa that I can be. I definitely think that people will see that, and and it's just like I said, like on Kumu, I still can't. This is a dream, literally being interviewed to say, yeah, I'm a content creator on Kumu. Yeah, these people watch me and I love to do what I, it's so crazy. But again, like I said, it's just, just being me and being able to embrace me. And, people are going to like it and people aren't going to like it. But at the end of the day, as long as I'm doing something for myself and I'm happy with what I'm doing, that's all that matters. So.
Leo, how about you? What is leadership to you? Thank you, Tessa.
I think one thing that she hit on that I really like is accountability. So, she was just kind of talking about being open to being wrong. And I think what most people construe leadership to be is like, oh, I always need to be right. I always like people need to know what to follow. And I don't prescribe to that. I really think leadership is about accountability. And, in running a media company where we talk about issues that in some sense can be controversial, you have to be open to being wrong. You have to be accountable to your community, and you have to be open-minded on, really representing what it means to be Filipino. And there is no correct way to be Filipino. And I think that's the beauty in it. So that's really what I learned in terms of leadership, being accountable for ourselves and to our community. And then for me, the biggest thing about leadership is that you're doing it for others. Your purpose, your mission, your drive, it all should be for the empowerment of others. When we started One Down comes from the Tagalog, term isang bagsak. So it's the idea that if one of us falls, we all fall, or one down.
Right.
If one of us rises, we all rise. So if I can empower you, if I can empower one Filipino to become better, to have a platform, to be empowered, to see themselves in the limelight, that's going to create this cascade effect where more people get to see themselves and more of our community is kind of, rises. So for us, leadership really is based on the idea that the community matters. And that's really what drives us here. Kind of accountability to ourselves, accountability to our community, and really putting others first.
Amazing. Music to my ears. And one thing that is very significant is that your family, and it starts with the family. You mentioned earlier that, your whole family is part of your content. They're always there. I love that. And I will speak to both of you offline because this, I don't know if you've noticed, but you will. At the end, you'll see my whole family's involved. You already heard in the voiceover, that was my daughter that read the voiceover. The music is my son that you met earlier. He's a musician. And then my eldest son and I have 6 kids, guys. So it's a production team. Yeah. Surprise! Moses is doing the graphics, and then you'll hear my 2 little boys at the end. But before all that, that's why I needed to get to know both of you more and to share with you, with the community. And it's all about the family. It starts at home, and all we have to do is basically lead by example, right? So speaking of that, I know you both have a long road ahead of you, but I do want to ask both of you, where do you see yourself in 5 years' time?
Oh my gosh.
Who would like to go first?
Wow. That's in 5 years' time. I mean, like I said on Kumu, I'm always really transparent, and I think that's something, like Leo said earlier. One thing about talking is you never know who's listening or who can relate.
Yes.
And for me, a lot of people always hear like my journey. I mean, I'm still struggling with the loss of my dad. So for me, it's just moving forward, and I hope in 5 years' time I can, just like just finally put that behind and just be happy. So.
Virtual hug. She can hug you right now. Thank you, Tessa.
Yeah,
Leo,
I think
how about you?
going off that, I think it really is like doing it for our parents. Sorry, oh my God, we're gonna cry.
Crying again, Mike. It's all right, guys. Love you so much. Thank you for being so honest and authentic. Appreciate it. It's all right.
Sorry, it's a tough question because we do all these things because we want to see we want to make our parents proud. We want to, create an environment where we can see our sisters thrive, where we can be happy, where, our mom doesn't have to work anymore. So, I was going to say in 5 years, I want to make a movie. And I'm manifesting that. So I think oftentimes the answer that I give is so career focused. And that's always my default. Like I want to be, I want to see my movies out there. I want to see One Down thrive. I want to be able to tell stories, intricate stories about our people and our culture and put it out there. But at the same time, just at the smallest level, I just want to make sure that my family is taken care of. I want to see, my sisters succeed. I want to see all of us thrive. And I just want to be happy. I want to be healthy. I think in 5 years, there is a long road ahead of us for all of us as Filipinos. But I think just on a personal level, I really want to find that work-life balance, find that balance where we are thriving, but we also have our sanity and we also have our happiness. And I think that's one thing I need to constantly remind myself that is important in addition to what we do within our careers.
Thank you both. And I appreciate, again, your honesty and your authentic selves and for being an inspiration. I believe that we are always at the right place at the right time with the right people. So, Leo, thank you for sharing that because we can definitely connect. And I'm so happy that you share that with me because there might be possibilities. We'll talk offline of this. I'm so excited to just share this with you, but let's lighten things up because let's keep that Kumu personality and aura going. I have a surprise for you both, which I love to do with my guests. It's called Finding Your Strength. I was inspired by the book Strengths Finder, so I tweaked it a little bit just to lighten things up and have a fun activity during the interview. So I'm going to ask you guys questions. So all you have to do is give me a thumbs up if you're game, and then the questions will be about the both of you. So you can either say it's you or your sibling. Okay, so really fast and really fun game, just to make you both smile again and laugh. Okay, so let's start with yes, ready to play? Thumbs up. And the first question is, who has the most patience? Okay. Second question, who has the corniest jokes?
Now you should see us when we're scripting for the game show.
Wait. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna be watching closely.
Yeah. They think my jokes are outdated.
That's so fun. As long as you have a V8, somebody's laughing. So
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Okay, next question. Who is most likely to become a famous actor or actress? Of course, Tessa. You're ready?
Yeah, I'll be directing.
Both. All right, next. Who is most likely to be unable to keep a secret for just 30 minutes?
We already know.
We don't need a V8 here, guys.
She always has to kiss me. She always has to kiss me.
And like my siblings, like and my mom, we're really, really close. So it's
I think it's just a Filipino thing, But anyways, okay, next. Who tends to laugh at the wrong moment?
What? Well, I'm just always laughing.
Yeah,
okay,
she's
that's
always
the thing.
laughing.
I'm just always laughing.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so next, who takes the most selfies?
It's always me.
But he has this filter like that does this mustache, and he always takes pictures with it, always, and it's only that filter.
But I never released the photo.
Yeah, but he's always taking pictures, but he doesn't post it though. And what's the point of taking selfies or posting photos if no one sees it?
Oh my gosh, see, that's why, guys, I love interviewing siblings because we start off serious and then it's like, no, it's him. Okay, next. Who is most likely to be late in an important event?
We're both gonna go.
We
can sometimes be late people. We're Filipino.
Filipinos gonna say. Oh, okay. And last, who spends most time on social media apps?
You.
Yeah, it's work. I always work.
She's always on. She's always on.
Wait,
but I'm always watching.
I'm just on Kumu. I'm on Kumu always, 24/7.
Of course. I get the notification. I'm like, Tessa's on, I'm going. Well, anyways, I'm so happy that I got to make you, I was able to make you guys laugh again, but I truly appreciate you both saying yes. And I've learned so much, and I know I'm going to be learning many more things from both of you. And I'm just happy to be connected with two amazing young leaders of today. Everyone, you have to follow One Down Media. Leo and Tessa Albea are here to have a platform to give all of us a voice. So please, can you invite them to everything that you guys are doing?
Oh, yes. Okay. So, yes, please follow One Down. We do also the Chismis, the game show, which will be on Wednesday at 7 p.m. Pacific time. And for those of you in the Philippines, that's Thursday at 10 a.m. Philippines time. And again, we give away 25,000 pesos. And all the questions are based on the episode of the Chismis, which you all should watch on One Down. And then also I have my K-Quiz every Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 3 and 4 p.m. So just follow us because, we're always going live. And actually Leo's starting to dance. We did a whole dance. We did a dance stream yesterday for an hour. We did a dance stream the other day. So it's just never, there's always a surprise here.
Yeah, and I DIY director show on Mondays at 8 p.m. in the US Pacific time, and then that's Tuesday at 11 a.m. in the Philippines. And then, like Tessa said, every Friday in America at 12 p.m. Pacific time, One Down releases on, the Chismis releases on One Down's Facebook and YouTube. And in the Philippines, it'll be up by Saturday morning.
Yeah, amazing, guys. So make sure you follow these two and everything they do, because they're definitely game changers of today also. And just like that, I had so much fun chatting with you both. I wish we could extend, but we'll see you on Kumu.
Yes,
and thank you for, again, sharing your success stories. And thank you, everyone, for showing your support and joining us. Maraming salamat, everyone on Kumu, everybody on Facebook, on the replay and Spotify, YouTube channel. I hope you have learned a lot from this amazing duo. And don't forget to tune in next week. But before that, we all know what to do. Actions speak louder than words. And thank you for tuning in this episode of In Love With Me. Appreciate you both.
Thank you.
Thank you for watching In Love With Me series.